So over the past few years, I have seen a handful of iconic movies and TV shows, probably not as much as the average American, and definitely not as much as I would have liked to, but I have seen my fair share, and there are a few specific scenes and moments in TV and film that still stick with me to this day. I think it's because of how these moments in film and TV made me feel seen and heard as somebody who struggled with social anxiety and self-confidence issues growing up, and let's be honest, still do from time to time as an adult, like every day. So yeah, I want to share some of my favorite quotes from movies and TV shows that I've seen both in recent years and also from way back when that resonate with me and hopefully resonate with you too. So let's begin. The first quote is by Sansa Stark in Game of Thrones Season 7, Episode 7, I believe. Yes, Episode 7. And Sansa is played by Sophie Turner. The quote goes,
"Please. I'm a slow learner. It's true. But I learn."
And then she goes on to say, "Thank you for all your many lessons, Lord Baelish. I will never forget them." I love this quote because you see just how much Sansa has grown from season 1 all the way to season 7, and I feel like her character development really just comes full circle here, because if you've watched Game of Thrones, you know how much Sansa has endured, how much she has gone through, all of the trials and tribulations, and in this scene you really see just how those experiences have led her to become the strong, mature leader that she is in season 7. So I love it. It's a powerful scene that has so much payoff. And it's also a great moment of sisterhood between Sansa and Arya, played by the amazing Maisie Williams. I think she is a fantastic actress. It's basically a moment where you see this young woman really come into her own. Considering all that she has been through, Sansa is now capable of making her own badass decisions. She comes face to face with this really toxic character, Lord Baelish, who has manipulated her for years and has used her position of power to advance his own interests. And she really just puts him in his place in this scene. So that is definitely one of my favorite quotes from TV in recent years. My second favorite quote that I want to share in this video is from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which I know is not recent, but it's still one of the classics, one of the greats. And this is a scene from season 7 between Xander and Dawn. Dawn is Buffy's younger sister, and Xander says, "They'll never know how tough it is, Donnie, to be the one who isn't chosen. To live so near to the spotlight and never step in it. But I know. I see more than anybody realizes because
nobody's watching me. I saw you last night. I see you working here today. You're not special.
You're extraordinary." Let's watch the scene, shall we?
And the amazing thing is, not one of them will ever know. Not even Buffy.
Know what?
How much harder it is for the rest of us.
No way. They've got
7 years, Don. Working with the Slayer. Seeing my friends get more and more powerful.
Power wasn't mine.
They'll never know how tough it is, Donnie.
This part. This is the part.
To be the one who isn't chosen. To live so near to the spotlight and never step in it. But I know. I see more than anybody realizes because nobody's watching me. I saw you last night. I see you working here today. You're not special. You're extraordinary.
It's like when somebody sees something in you that maybe you don't even see yourself yet. Which reminds me that maybe we should go out of our way more often to tell people why we appreciate them. So the third quote is by Nadine from Edge of 17, played by Haley Steinfeld.
I know this isn't any easier for you. I know that. I think some deranged part of me likes thinking I'm the only one with real problems.
So I saw this movie on a plane, and I don't know about you, but for some reason, whenever I'm up in the air, I cry so easily when I'm watching movies. I don't know, maybe it's the elevation, I have no idea. But yeah, I love the scene because Haley Steinfeld does such a brilliant job delivering the lines. I feel like Nadine's monologue encapsulates the anxiety of being a teenager, being in high school so well. It's just so relatable that it hurts. So 8th Grade is a comedy drama film directed and written by Bo Burnham, and it is definitely one of my all-time favorite movies. In this scene, Elsie Fisher's character Kayla has a very pure, tragic heart-to-heart with her dad by the fire, and it's this really pivotal scene in the movie. The part that really got to me and made me cry was when she asked her dad, like, do I make you sad? If I had a daughter that turned out like me, being her mom would make me really sad. And I remember way back when I was like in 8th grade, which was one of the worst years of my life, I actually remember having that exact same thought and thinking like, wow, if I were a mother and my child was feeling this way, that would make me really sad. And so I totally get what her character is going through in this phase of her life. It's a really touching, pure moment, and you should definitely see the movie 8th Grade if you haven't already. Okay, so this next quote is from 20th Century Women, and it's by a character that Greta Gerwig plays. Her name is Abby Porter. To be honest, I don't even remember what 20th Century Women was exactly about. I just vaguely remember liking it and not liking it at the same time, but I really like this scene.
Can't things just be pretty?
Pretty music is used to hide how unfair and corrupt society is.
Ah. Okay, so they're not very good, and they know that, right?
Yeah, it's like they've got all this feeling and they don't have any skill, and they don't want skill because it's really interesting what happens when your passion is bigger than the tools you have to deal with it. It creates this energy.
So basically, Gerwig's character, Abby Porter, is trying to explain to Dorothea why she likes this band called the Raincoats. And she says, it's really interesting what happens when your passion is bigger than the tools you have to deal with it. It creates this energy that's raw. Isn't it great? And I think that line, that part of the quote, really resonates with me because sometimes I feel like I'm that person desiring to be something more than I am and that I have the tools to be. So my last favorite quote, but certainly not the least, is from Gone Girl. And it's the cool girl quote, which basically in this scene, Rosamund Pike, is that how you say her name? Rosamund Pike's character is doing like a voiceover and narrating the scene and describing this concept of the cool girl. So she says, Nick loved a girl I was pretending to be. Cool girl. Men always use that, don't they? As their defining compliment. She's a cool girl. Cool girl is hot. Cool girl is game. And basically she like lists out all the characteristics of this elusive cool girl. And then at the end of the monologue, she says, when I met Nick Dunn, I knew he wanted cool girl. And for him, I'll admit, I was willing to try. I've only seen that movie once, but I played that scene like over and over again because that monologue really, really struck a chord with me. And I'm sure it did with a lot of women because growing up as young girls, I know like times are changing now, thank God, but girls are sort of conditioned to believe that we're in like competition with other women, which is so terrible and frustrating and makes me angry. But sadly, it's something that I have fallen into the trap of as well. I think her monologue really made me reflect on whether or not I've tried to be cool for a guy and, just like Rosamund Pike's character tries to fit into the mold of a cool girl to please her husband. But let me know, what's your favorite quote from Gone Girl? So do you notice a common thread here? If you do, you're correct. Yes, basically I'm a sad person. But all jokes aside, I did notice some common threads between all of these quotes and I wrote them down. So there's unfulfilled potential, the desire to be something greater, something more, anxiety and feeling like you're always going to be a certain way, feeling like you're stuck. And then there's the theme of growth and maturity, becoming self-actualized and more confident in who you are. Literally all things I talk about in therapy. So these are all great shows and movies that I highly recommend, but I'm guessing you probably have already seen because they're so well received and critically acclaimed pieces of entertainment. But anyway, let me know in the comments, what are some of your favorite movie or TV show quotes? And how did they make you feel seen or heard? I'm curious. Anyway, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching, and in the meantime, subscribe